Previously on Outback Rangers.
Watch your head!
The crew find themselves locked in a battle with nature.
Want to head back towards the clubhouse.
As raging fires threaten to destroy the land.
Up back there, Stream. No! Hey! Help!
And a 4-meter croc is captured and tagged.
There. Oh, he's there. He's on, Billy. So the transmitter's going to tell us the story of where he's going to move over the next 12 months. And then we can see where he's going.
In this episode, they face a new set of challenges. As soaring temperatures leave the land parched.
It's hot.
The Outback Rangers and park residents are feeling the pressure.
Pull.
With the country heating up, they have to rely on their survival instincts. Goose Camp in the heart of Kakadu. One of Australia's largest gatherings of magpie geese. Park resident Patsy Reglar is on a hunt for some tucker. Key to survival in the bush.
No. I don't eat chicken much. My dad he was really good hunter. He was teach me for shoot. Every time I'm coming here, every 2 goose, they was knock him down.
Bush tucker like these geese provides Patsy and many local families with the food they need.
It's good. No, we can look like
Patsy's
everybody.
bullseye hits are so legendary, even her husband, Dave Lidner, is in awe.
Once you get their eyes in, it's an embarrassment if there's anyone else shooting around.
But this abundance of geese won't last long. The changing season will soon make its mark.
All the mud crack everywhere, and no any bait here. They're gonna go somewhere else to find water.
December in Kakadu, the Aboriginal season of Gunumeleng. This is when the hot, dry weather turns humid. Conditions are tough. Wildlife and people alike become increasingly desperate for the monsoon downpours.
Can't wait for the rain. I'm looking forward to the wet season. Yeah, the build-up's pretty hot.
At the Darwin Bureau of Meteorology, climatologist Joel Lisenby is keeping a close watch on the monsoon's arrival.
Probably the most defining aspect of the monsoon is it's a large-scale storm that changes the weather across the top end quite a bit when it sets in. The monsoon is big. The monsoon is what brings enough rain to fill the Billabongs till the next wet season.
But something's in the air to suggest that this year it's going to be different.
We usually expect the monsoon around the last week of December. This year, for various reasons, we don't know how strong or how long it's going to last. So far this year has been very dry compared to most. This cloud pattern is a monsoonal pattern where there's thick clouds across all of the top end. But we haven't seen any really big rainfall events.
A delayed monsoon is bad news for Kakadu. If there's one season you don't want prolonged, it's this buildup.
Buildup is hot and it's sticky and it's humid and very uncomfortable for a lot of people. There's so many things that depend on that heavy rainfall in December and January and February, and they're just waiting for the thick cloud to set in. For a lot of people, it's hard to deal with. it can make a person go crazy.
They call it mango madness. When weather becomes so unbearable, it pushes locals over the edge. End of January. Monsoon season should be well and truly underway. Instead, temperatures are still pushing 40 degrees, and the land is gasping for water. But the rangers' work has to go on. Today, a team is heading out to locate and protect rock art.
The rock art in Kakadu is classified under the World Heritage Convention as of great artistic tradition. So we go out there as often as we can to look at those sites and make sure that no damage can happen to them.
Cultural Officer Gabrielle O'Loughlin is joined by Ranger and Traditional Owner Jeff Lee, as well as Jim Jim Head Ranger Kathy Wilson, on an expedition to the escarpment country in Jim Jim District. In this vast landscape of rocky outcrops, the search for hidden rock art sites will not be easy.
As you can see from the country, it's incredibly large with huge rock formations, and it's like looking for a needle in a haystack often. Here we are using a helicopter, but Aboriginal people were actually walking through this area, hunting and painting in the caves. The people that were living here must have been pretty tough. Just incredible.
Kakadu has one of the world's greatest concentrations of ancient rock art. Thousands of sites have been recorded, but many more lie undiscovered. To find one, the team must venture off the map, a tough feat in this expansive outback.
We're just trying to locate a site that hasn't been visited for some time. We've got a record of nearly 5,000 art sites in Kakadu, yet people say that there could be up to 10, 15,000 sites. So you need to spend a lot of time on the ground, walking, just searching. So we need to travel with traditional owners who know the country.
Yeah, no, you can get lost out here easily. We've got to go this way, straight up, yeah.
You go first, Jeff. Good memory. For me, I'd have to go back to a map and record points on a map and lines on a map. But it's like it just sticks in your brain.
We don't need GPS, map. Me and I head all the time. You know the country. You can walk around with your eyes closed. I never get lost, mate.
Same memory.
But in this inaccessible sandstone maze, getting lost isn't the only problem. The temperature has now climbed to 50 degrees, and heat stroke is a strong possibility. At the Darwin Bureau of Meteorology, Dr. Lisenby is studying the harsh climate conditions, and the signs are bad.
The wet season has been delayed, and we expect later this week and into next week, it'll be very dry. You'll get almost no rain. It's been hot. The afternoon temperature is getting around 36 to 37 degrees every day. Very humid, but not enough rainfall to cool things down.
Kakadu's wildlife is suffering from this intense heat. With many inundated areas fast drying up, its aquatic species may be at risk.
See, but big, long, very primitive fish.
Naturalist Ian Morris and Ranger Anne O'Day are on a quest for much-needed intel. First stop, Jim Jim Falls.
Quite often conditions are extreme up here, and today it must be 50 plus in this boat.
With the floodplains and surrounding billabongs drying up, all the fish congregate here. Ian has a rare opportunity to study which species copes better under these harsh conditions.
We've got 2 or 3 species of catfish. The other one's called an eel-tailed catfish, and there are 3 varieties of those in here. Look at this Saratoga. And there's little tiny glassfish they call ambassus. There's a striped grunter and a spangled grunter and a black anal fin grunter. Grunters coming out your ears. And it goes on and on.
Kakadu's always changing. You just can't keep up with it. So our section of the park, we draw on the knowledge of the traditional owners, researchers and park staff and bring all the knowledge together to try to work out what's the best thing we can do for this place.
It appears life is stable for the creatures at Jim Jim Creek. But for others, it's a struggle just to stay alive. South Alligator District.
With some ducks all congregating on the last bit of water.
Rangers Khan Spokes and Dwayne Watchop join Ian as he observes conditions in a shrinking billabong. The tributaries from the river have dried up, leaving behind a rapidly shrinking pool.
There's not much water out there really, and it wouldn't be a metre deep in the very middle part. So, as you can imagine, in this temperature, that water is quite warm, almost the same as out in the air. So it's not a particularly nice place to be for a fish. Shining in the light over there are the undersides of lots and lots of dead fish. The water levels start dropping. It gets too hot, the oxygen becomes too thin. The barramundi and the large mullet, they're the biggest fish and they require the most oxygen, so they're the first to die. And there's one species of fish out there gulping air at the moment, and that's the ox-eye herring, or the bony brim they call it here. And they survive in this kind of condition because they gulp air direct. There's a few raptors about as well, a few whistling kites. Easy pick up for a dead fish. 1 or 2 crocodiles are probably here. They're not visible at the moment. We're going to have a look and see what we can find.
The brutal climate is taking its toll on barely surviving wildlife. In this dry heat, water is scarce, and this pool is one of the few sources for miles around.
Quite often, traditional enemies will be in the same place as well. So you can have things like goannas and snakes and things side by side sharing the last bit of water, and in the normal times of the year they'd be stalking each other. So it is an unusual time of the year.
With no sign of the hot, dry season abating, this billabong won't last long.
We've got some long-legged water birds, the black-winged stilts, and they're actually walking right out in the middle so you can see just how shallow this water body is. So I would imagine if we don't get rain for another couple of weeks, it'll completely dry up. Then we'll lose a lot more things.
As the land continues to dry out, Dave Lidner has something else to worry about. The Asian water buffalo. Dave saw firsthand the damage caused by these feral animals at the height of their numbers in the 1970s.
Every inch of Kakadu that provided nutrition was pillaged, and the wetlands with their very high fodder value were laid bare in many cases. Wildlife like geese, for example, would have been greatly reduced to a relic species.
An intensive aerial culling program in the 1980s brought their numbers under control. But buffalo is still a favorite meat for locals, and Dave helps supply it to them.
Wait, whoa. We eat a lot of buffalo meat. Rump, round steak, silver side, chuck steaks on. Shoulder blade, which is left on the bone, can be roasted or it can be sliced off. Is good meat. But I'll make a curry up tonight out of this. We'll eat that for 3 or 4 days.
Buffalo culling efforts have allowed magpie goose numbers to swell by the millions. More than enough for Patsy and Dave to help supply food to local families.
We get goose, we're shooting, like for people, like we feed lots of people, like every community. You see always delivering goose and buffalo meat. Yeah, because some people like bush tucker. Myself too, I really like bush tucker. We always feed everyone.
The South Alligator floodplains. The arid land bears witness to the extreme temperature that's soaring across Kakadu. But the land isn't as barren as it first appears. Khan and Dwayne spot faint signs of life.
I see the mud tracks. When you see tracks like that, you know there's going to be crocodiles in here. Mud tracks with their belly sliding. When the water was still a bit deep, but it was sloppy mud, but they could still move around heaps easier. Yeah, this is where the last bit of water was. You can see where they were. You can see the walleye still there. Yeah, have a look. We'll just keep going up in here. We'll find them.
In this dry terrain, saltwater crocs must rely on their natural instincts to survive the extreme climate.
Oh, there it is over there, Kay. Can you see it?
There's not 1, but 7 crocodiles cooped up in this tiny mud pool. An extraordinary feat of survival for a solitary animal like the salty.
That is fantastic. Under normal circumstances, salties are loners. They keep a lot of personal space, except for now. We're seeing aquatic animals using little tricks that they've learnt for who knows how many thousands of generations to avoid desiccation at the worst part of the year. Hey dudes, having a good day? They're not even savage, I don't think. They're defensive if they think they're going to be cornered, but they soon get to know you. I've had one this size clamped on my leg. We were capturing them for mark and release, and he bit my leg, and I just left him there, and he unbit my leg, and I hardly had a mark. I had a few holes, but nothing, and it was a croc that size. This is something you don't see every day. They've stopped being crocodiles for a while, and they've become door stoppers, and their main objective is to survive this dry time. All sitting around looking at each other and discussing when it's going to rain. Once the moisture evaporates out of here, which won't be very long, they'll be in a bit of strife.
It'll be a while more before the rains quench the parched land. For now, the only relief is from the passing thunderstorms that the buildup brings, teasing the monsoon with scattered showers.
These build-up style thunderstorms bring rain and bring relief, but it doesn't last very long. But they form just because the air near the surface is so hot and humid that it's able to rise very quickly. And so you see some of the tallest storms in the world. They get 12 to 18 kilometers tall.
A visual spectacle only Mother Nature can orchestrate.
There's a lot of lightning. I don't know how else to explain it than that. We can't even keep count of all of it. It's pretty amazing to watch.
In the sprawling rocky landscape of Jim's escarpment country, Gabrielle, Jeff and the team are still looking for the rock art site.
Something here, like a shelter, cave.
Just found a cave. We'll go check it out.
What do you look like? You look underneath? What is
No, nothing here.
Nothing up here, I can't see anything.
No.
It look like thing, but so nothing, huh?
Even with knowledge of the land, looking for rock art in the maze of sandstone takes time.
When you're out here looking for rock art, you know, you can go on for days and days, you know. Sometimes it's not easy finding rock art.
And with the rising temperatures, time is a luxury they don't have.
It is hard work. It's hot. I wish it would rain. It's so humid. There's not enough clouds in the sky for rain, though. It's the monsoon season without a monsoon. That's why we're all sweating.
There are no exceptions. The extreme heat takes its toll on everyone.
It feels like a mango madness, this heat, especially being on the rocks. Just like a big oven up here.
Yeah, it's very humid enough, so we have to take it steady. We don't want anyone getting real sick. Here it's a long way back to medical help.
Every time I drink water or anything, just comes straight out.
Do you feel like going on, or do you want to go back?
Josh, I've got some stamina. Do you want to put some of that in your water, try and get your electrolytes back up? Once people go downhill, it can get really serious, could mean death.
With Josh on the verge of sunstroke, the crew could be facing a serious problem. In the next episode, the Rangers' search for the rock art site hits a stumbling block.
We didn't find anything this afternoon.
As nature's most extreme elements continue to play out in its rugged vastness,
Any painting there?
Nothing.
Rangers battle the brutal onslaught of the heat and the threat of deadly crocodiles.
Do a quick nest inspection. That's Mum right there.
Oh, bugger.